wife's ovaries, I don't think I'd ever talk about it.
Right.
Because it could be humiliating for women.
Yeah.
For dudes, yeah, it's humiliating for me, but like as a comedian, I think I'm a little like I find the joy in that
The
humiliation.
funny in anything, yeah.
Yeah, it's easy for me to deal with.
Mhm.
And but I'll tell you, after talking about it and seeing all the other people going through it, it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's why honestly, when we had Trump on, there was like three things that I wanted to ask him, and one of them I wanted him to say publicly that he would protect IVF.
So let's talk about
What's good, my Souls of Thought family? It's your boy Norris, and I'm back again. Had to hurry up, and I made a quick trip down here to Louisiana to see some family, to do some family things. With that being said, continue your support. Really appreciate it. Appreciate the conversations that are being started from these episodes and the reels, and even from TikTok, the reels that have been going viral. I appreciate you guys. Make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe as well. You can even hit that bell for the notifications so you can know when I'm either going live or when I have posted something new. So, as you can see, we're going to be reviewing the Andrew Schulz interview today from Breakfast Club. Um, I really wanted to review this after watching it. I kind of want you guys to see if you see it from my point of view. If you do, great. If not, hey, maybe it's a conversation starter. But the title of this video is Andrew Schulz. He's the reason black men date outside their race. And a lot of you are going to be like, man, why that title? And I want to break it down first before we go into the video because the video is not going to have anything to do with dating outside your race. With that being said, it made me think about the true reason most black men date outside their race. And it's because when you find the right white person who makes you feel comfortable in your own skin, make you feel comfortable in your own environments, you open up, you become a better version of yourself, and you say the things that you truly want to say. And a lot of you are like, Oris, what are you talking about? I'm going to show you in this video what I'm talking about. Andrew Schulz, as you know, is a co-host with Charlamagne the God on the Brilliant Idiots podcast. They've been friends for way over a decade. With that being said, you're going to see Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, always forget the other co-host who's coming in place of Jess. But you're going to see them not be so pro-black the moment that a white person makes sense, makes them feel comfortable, and they truly say what they want to say. Because with that being said, what I want you guys to do after you watch my video, go and watch the Bill Burr interview on Breakfast Club and watch how different the environments are and watch how different what they say and how they articulate. I know a lot of you guys been like, no, that's just how you have a conversation. It's okay to have a conversation, but your conversation shouldn't be on two big spectrums. And that's what you're going to see. So again, I literally got out of the car, came to the library. I'm recording in the library in one of their little pods because I needed you guys to be able to see this video. So with no further ado, we're going to bring old Schultz up to the stage and we're going to get started.
Easier that it was me. If it was my wife's ovaries, I don't think I'd ever talk about it.
Right.
Because it could be humiliating for women.
Yeah.
For dudes, yeah, it's humiliating for me, but like as a comedian, I think I'm a little like I find the joy in that
The
humiliation.
funny in anything, yeah.
Yeah, it's easy for me to deal with.
Mhm.
And but I'll tell you, after talking about it and seeing all the other people going through it, it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's why honestly, when we had Trump on, there was like three things that I wanted to ask him, and one of them I wanted him to say publicly that he would protect IVF.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
How did you meet Trump? How did y'all get to how were y'all together? It
They
seems like
reached
y'all were
out.
cool.
They reached out and they
Mhm.
were like, do you want to have him on? And we were like, yeah, we want to do it in the studio. And then they were like, we can't do it. And the studio, like, Charlamagne knows, it's like you guaranteed assassination. It's like windows everywhere. It's like, I don't even know why we were trying. Like you walk right out the elevator, it's windows everywhere.
Right.
It's bad. But right, like
Jesus.
I hope that doesn't happen. But so but we were really pushing for that. And then when we did the pod, I like spoke to his kid for a while before, and I
Mhm.
spoke to Dana White,
Which one?
Junior,
Okay.
Junior, and I was like, yeah, just tell me some stories, and like I just kind of
party.
wanted to, Say again.
The party. You talked about the party.
Oh yeah, so he told me about that one. He
Mhm.
told me, there's a part I didn't say on the interview, but because I said he just went up to the roof and kicked everybody out. But like what Junior told me is he was in his underwear. So like, just imagine Trump
Donald Trump in his underwear?
No, the Junior,
on the
for the
roof.
people who haven't seen the interview, Schulz in the group, they talk about Donald Trump Jr. had a huge
Crazy ass party, yeah.
and then they had to throw everybody out because Trump found out about the party.
Well, yeah, he
but then
wasn't supposed to be back.
Yeah, he was supposed to be back. It was kind of like something on like a movie. Like
Yeah.
dad comes home, but he like never mentions it.
Yeah.
So Trump Jr. is like,
Oh, yeah,
almost
yeah.
like it didn't happen.
Exactly,
But we
they've
didn't
never
know he
talked
was in
about
his underwear. So that party got real crazy.
Yeah, that was the first time he addressed it in like 40 years or something like that. He never addressed it with his kid.
You know, there's a guy in this room, a young black male, who said he watched Trump on Flagrant. He goes, that Flagrant interview is going to get Trump elected.
That guy that you're talking about, he's been MAGA for a while.
No, I'm not
I just want to let y'all know.
not gonna hold
He was waiting for that moment.
I felt the same way. That was the first time I looked at him as like a person. I was like, why am I like? I was like, oh my God, he's a granddad. He cares about his kids. Like, ugh. But it was like y'all made him.
Now let's start there. So let's read the room. So as you all know, the black guy that they said who predicted that he was going to win the election after that interview was Charlamagne the God. And then as you hear, she says, yeah, it was the first time that, President Trump or Donald Trump at the time was normalized to her. Like it made her see him in a different light. Now, this is the same Breakfast Club that is normally killing the conservatives, the Republicans, but all of a sudden, when Andrew Schulz gets in the room and he normalizes everything, he makes everything about laughter, these people show their true colors. And yes, Charlamagne knew Donald Trump was going to win president. He's going to talk about it a little bit. But to hear her say that it was the first time that they felt that he was normal. And so keep listening because Schulz is going to give some great information. Just keep listening.
He was having a good time.
So it's Schultz's fault, basically.
Yeah, it's my fault.
It's your fault.
That and the commercial where another young black guy in this room did a commercial that Trump used and played over.
I met the guy who made that commercial.
And over again.
You
Talking
met
about
him?
how-
Yeah.
What did he say?
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, thanks, Charlamagne really helped us out with that one." I mean, that commercial was unbelievable.
So it's our
Super
fault.
Bowl,
It's our
son,
fault.
World
Jesus
Series.
Christ.
It is really crazy that the election was decided in this room right now. We don't get enough credit.
But do you get that response from people though? Like, yo, y'all humanized somebody that like we low key. Even when he got shot, I felt like people were like, oh, we don't want that to happen. But
so what I'd say to people, and I have like a way more humble take than I think most, is like I don't think that we had any impact on the election. I don't think that any of the podcasts, like I think that what America had decided is a lot of America weren't voting for Trump. They were rejecting the current administration. They just didn't like what was happening. And I think the way that the current administration was campaigning, they're basically kind of saying, hey, everything's good. We're going to kind of keep doing this. I think a lot of Americans were like, I don't really feel like it's good. So I'm going to go for anything but this. But I think the idea of Trump is always he's a populist. So if you vote for him, it means you love him and you're obsessed with him and you're MAGA till you die. Where I think a lot of it is really just rejection. In the same way that when people voted for Biden, they didn't really vote for Biden. They voted against the chaos of Trump.
Now let's stop there. This is what I keep trying to explain to all my family members who keep trying to prove me wrong about certain things, people who just hate Donald Trump. President Trump was the best choice for what we had. And it's very unique to me because 4 years ago, I heard everyone of minority, everyone of color say this one phrase: Biden is the lesser of the evil. Let me repeat that. Everybody kept saying Biden was the lesser of the evil. So all of a sudden, when everybody disliked what was going on in the current administration, with us going into inflation, with the prices going high, with everything crumbling, with immigrants taking over states and taking extra funding, All of a sudden, because it's President Trump, it's the biggest issue in the world. But wait till you hear, because everybody in this room is going to pretty much agree with him. But that's not the energy that the Breakfast Club gives when it's not someone of Andrew Schulz stature, when it's a Democrat person. When Jasmine Crockett was on there just a week ago, you heard a totally different tone in the room. And this is the fear of people accepting the right thing. That's why I named this podcast, this episode, "This is the reason why Black men date outside their race." And not to be funny, I'm not throwing my sisters under the bus, but I'm going to tell you this. A lot of times when a Black man finally finds a woman outside of their race, they normally become successful. All their visions that they had worked. Everything that they desired starts to come true because that person makes them feel comfortable in their own skin in a community that rejects us because we think for ourselves. Hear me clearly. I am not, excuse me, I am not degrading Black women. That's not what I'm here to do. My ex-wife is Black. My children are Black. My daughter is Black. Nothing about that. I'm just explaining to people that you are seeing what happens for most people when they're accepted outside of their race. Because our race calls us an Uncle Tom. They call us following Donald Trump. They always say that you're MAGA. And like he was saying, just because someone voted for Donald Trump doesn't mean they're a MAGA faithful, doesn't mean they're on all these slogans, doesn't mean that Donald Trump is going to do everything right. It was the best choice out of the two candidates. And if it wasn't, explain to me how it wasn't.
Trump.
And the chaos of the world at that time.
Yes,
It was
yeah.
COVID, it was George Floyd. But also, we talk about this. America had its mind made up for 2 years that they was voting for Trump. We knew that. Like, it's not like we knew that. We were
Sorry to keep stopping. I promise I'm going to play a little bit more. But listen to Charlamagne. Charlamagne said, we knew the world 2 years ago was going to vote for Donald Trump. So why on your show, when you get Black Democrats up there, when you get certain people at your show, at your desk, why do you act like Donald Trump is the worst person in the world? Why do you act like this candidate is the best candidate? Why did you boost up Jasmine Crockett? You knew what was going to happen.
saying that. We were saying Biden needed to step down because we knew Biden wasn't going to win in November. It wasn't until the vice president, became the nominee that it was like, okay, well, maybe there is another option. But everybody knew.
It's not.
So what do you think about everything that Trump's doing now?
Well, what specifically?
There's a whole lot.
See, that's another great question, Andrew. And you see what Andrew is making them do? Because when they asked that same question to Jasmine Crockett a week ago, oh, he ain't doing nothing good. He doing it. Like he said, it depends on what you're asking. There's multiple things moving all at one time. You got tariffs going on. You have the immigration stuff going on. You have the new income tax plan being pushed. You have the infertility stuff that he was pushing through the IBF and all that. All these things are going on, and everybody wants to say one big thing. No. Some things are going well. Some things aren't going so well. With that being said, what exactly do you want to talk about? We can't put all our eggs into DEI or federal firings or what else we want to talk about, the Target thing and the price of eggs. And you can't do all that. You got to talk about one topic at a time.
I mean, there's so many orders.
You love the Gulf of
ice
Mexico
between.
stuff.
Oh, I love that.
I saw that on Joe Rogan, right?
I think it was Megyn Kelly.
Okay.
But yeah, I love the Gulf of America. I mean,
Gulf of
it's
America,
it's
yeah.
North America, Central America, South America. Why we call it the Gulf of Mexico? It should feel like the Gulf of America. It's not the Gulf of North America. It's just the Gulf of America. But again, what I like is just like I like saying audacious shit. I'm an American, like
right there. We should love America. Why are we pissed off because he changed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America? And then Andrew gave you common sense. You got North America, South. You got all these things surrounding this body of water, and we want to call it the Gulf of Mexico. Common sense. And look, he's even finna root up Jasmine Crockett. Give us 1 second.
Americans in general, like in our DNA, we like risk takers and we like people who are brave. And I think that's like the tricky thing for Democrats right now. And keep in mind, I'm like a lifelong Democrat. I grew up in an arts family. Both my parents were dance teachers. Like I live in New York City my whole life. So what I need is some energy on the Democratic side. We talk about this all the time. Is I need some like shit talk. I need some bodacious shit talk. And I think the thing that really Americans care about right now is it's things are expensive.
Right.
And I think Democrats need their build the wall. And whatever that is, it has to tap into what people are struggling with right now. So
Well,
if it's
they first have to build the team.
well, exactly. But yo, it could just be one outsider. Like I think it's dollar eggs. Like eggs are $1. I think you just start saying shit like that. It doesn't matter if you don't know how to do it, but you start saying something that's going to resonate with people. And
he's giving y'all the cheat code. And this is what I said too, because what people are not understanding is a lot of people who are now conservatives were actually long time Democrats. A lot of us voted the old way until we seen that just nothing wasn't changing. And what I want to address right here is that if you go back, because you got to go and watch, people don't research. You guys are going to listen to my podcast and you're going to make a crazy comment and you're not going to go listen to any of the things I'm telling you to listen to. Go listen to the Bill Burr. Go listen to the Al Green conversation. Al Green even said himself, President Trump is just doing, he didn't even know that a president had this much power when it came to using executive orders. This is somebody sitting in the House who's a lawyer who literally admitted that he did not know why or how, that a president had this type of power to use executive orders. And he said it's something that the Democrat Party needs to take note of for the next time they get into the White House. And that's how you implement change. You use all the resources you have at your fingertips to create change. And that's not what the Democratic Party wanted to do. They wanted to cater to certain groups of people. And see, we passed up a lot of stuff, but earlier in this episode, Charlamagne the God starts to talk about abortion. But wasn't that's what most Democrats was pushing for? So it's very unique when you start to hear people and hear what they're saying, but it's all about getting them in a comfortable environment so that they can be themselves. If you watch Charlamagne the God on Brilliant Idiots, you'll also see him in his comfort zone with him and Schulz to go back and forth. And Charlamagne says things that are truly on his mind. He knows how to tailor himself for the Breakfast Club so that the black people who listen to the Breakfast Club don't get too up in a rock because y'all not going to go listen to Brilliant Idiots.
And that's the only way. And I think that if they make it a class issue, they win this election pretty easily come the next election. But they're afraid to do that because a lot of them are in the pockets of the billionaire class and the corporations.
Right. Hear what he said? Democrats can't even run on what they need to run on to win. When he's talking about class, you got your poor, your middle, your rich. And like he said, most of the Democrats are in the same pockets as billionaires. See, they don't want to talk about the things that truly make change. Just like this new tax plan, it needs to be passed because people are going to look at this all wrong. $150,000 salary and under, you're able to bring home that money tax free. That's what the new tax plan looks like. Most of you guys, if you look at your tax, let's hypothetically say that you bring in $90,000, that's your salary, but you're probably bringing home $75,000 of that. Could you imagine seeing an extra $15,000 coming through your household every year? You know how much quicker you can pay off your home? You can get that new vehicle. You can do the fixes on your home so you don't have to take loans out on your loan for your home so that you're not putting yourself more in debt. Think about all the things that you can do. And then you don't need income tax. You know why? Because you're not being taxed. So that means that extra money is going to be in your pocket. These are the things that we don't want to discuss and we don't want to talk about. But again, it takes the right person to be in the right room to make people feel comfortable so they can say what they really feel.
So they make it about identity politics. It's all these people that go to like Harvard and Yale that like pretend to give a fuck about you guys. They don't actually give a fuck about you guys, but they get patted on the back for pretending to do it. And now they're in this situation where the rest of America is like, I can't afford eggs, so I can't really care about the bathroom. Like, I don't give a fuck about who goes in the bathroom because I need to buy eggs. Until I can buy eggs, I don't worry about the bathroom. So you got to start addressing people where their problems are.
And you know what's proving that point? When you look at like Gavin Newsom on his podcast with Charlie Kirk, right?
He wants it so bad, bro. That motherfucker's thirsty.
Exactly. But you see how quick he is to distance himself from trans athletes and stuff like that. So now it's like,
oh, whoa. Charlamagne, you're not telling that a Democrat is now pushing away from the beliefs that you guys were standing on during the presidential race. But that's the type of person that they're going to want to push up and prop up for the next election. We see what's going on, but it's like you guys get upset for the people who see it and address it. And like Schulz said, you guys he's telling us as African Americans that, hey, these billionaire people who are pushing all these agendas, like AOC, Jasmine Crockett, Al Green, these people don't care about us. If they cared about y'all, we'll have a concrete federal government finance plan. We wouldn't have to keep worrying about the government shutting down and workers not getting paid. These things are very easy to understand. I don't understand why it's so difficult.
oh, so you never cared?
No, they never cared.
You never gave a fuck. It was just all about politics for you.
Yes. It's all about that for all politicians, though.
Absolutely. Right? But some people show it better than others. Some people act like they care better than others.
Yeah, you need to learn how to lie.
Who are those people, though, Charlamagne? It's the same people that you guys prop up on your platform.
And I don't think Democrats are going to win so easily in 2028. I think that because the Democrats are in such disarray, America will say, you know what, just give me a sensible Republican. Just give me a traditional conservative.
Yeah.
So this is Charlamagne speaking for the Black community. He's saying that he thinks it's not going to even be a Democrat that's going to be able to win. People are now just going to look for a lesser version of President Trump that's more sensible and that's a Republican. J.D. Vance, who knows?
Yeah, give me a Nikki Haley, just somebody, just a regular conservative. I can deal with
Nikki
that.
Haley.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that could definitely happen. I think there just has to be something like radical and disruptive on the Democrat side, and I think that they're also concerned. They're playing this like prevent defense. And they're really concerned about like ostracizing a group. Like if I say this, will women be upset? If I say this, will black people be upset? If I say this, will trans be upset? And it's actually like a harder position to be in to be a Democrat. You're the party of progress. You have to push shit forward.
And you got to please everybody. Which is impossible.
Conservatives are actually trying to pull shit back. It's a way easier position to be in to be like, all right, we went too far forward. But I think what Democrats need to do is just start listening to everyday working class people. I think Democrats are too stuck in the Ivy League. There's too much like pretentious finger wagging. That's not what everyday Americans are. And you need to get the working class back immediately. And you're not going to get that back when you just got a bunch of these like super rich Nepo babies telling poor people how they should think and who they should vote for. Like, I don't want you to tell me, if you never had a job, you can't tell me who I should vote for. Simple as that.
You like Jasmine Crockett, though.
I love that girl. But like, that's the type of language that I want to start. I want people to start using.
Now, don't get it confused. He said he likes the language that she uses, but he's going to say something next.
Like when she said, you're Putin's hoe. I don't care. I don't agree with that sentiment, actually.
My favorite soundbite from her that night.
But I like the energy because what people like about Trump, despite him being like a billionaire who got money from his dad, right? He doesn't talk like them. He talks like me and you. The Indian journalist is asking him a question, dibble dabble, and then all of a sudden, dibble dabble, and then he goes, I don't know what the hell that guy just said. That to me is the most relatable thing I've ever seen in my.
Another thing, if you've been following my channel, this is what I said. President Trump is the closest thing to one of us. When I say one of us, not black, not white, just a normal person who gets the opportunity to run for president. You're going to say the things that you always wanted to say because you have the power to say it. And people enjoy that because you know what? You know what you're getting from him. There's nothing that he signed off that he didn't tell you he was going to do. But for some reason, we get all up in arms and we want to fight family. We want to fight so people that are supposed to be your friends. we want to go research now and try to put stuff on people's posts, and it makes no sense. I've been standing on this hill. You just now standing on this hill. It's crazy.
My entire life. I go, yeah, that's what I would have said. That's what he would have said. That's what you would have said if we were just hanging around on the corner talking.
So you like Trump because you don't feel like it's political. He's just himself.
I'm not saying the reason why I like him. I'm saying the reason why people relate to
Sure.
him despite him being a billionaire. Because that's the thing Democrats don't seem to understand. They're like, they say that we're in the pockets of the rich, but there's a rich guy right there. Why do they relate to him? It's like, do you see how he talks to people? He called Shorty Pocahontas in the middle of the fucking Senate hearing.
Yo, and you know what?
She's sitting right there.
It's been normalized so much that wasn't even a headline.
Nobody even said anything.
They were like, oh, that's his
She
old
got to
hit.
sit there and take it. Yeah, Pocahontas over here pointing at her.
Nobody cared. Talking about Elizabeth Warren. Wasn't even a headline. Nobody gave a
he's
damn.
making fun of African nations. He's like, we gave 40 million to Lesotho. Nobody knows what that is. That's hilarious. Like,
especially being that I didn't know what it was.
Neither did I.
Was that a real nation?
Oh, when they was running down the stuff at the State of the Union.
Yeah.
I thought that was all jokes. That was real.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
So you got somebody who's sitting on a platform where millions of people watch every day. She thought the things that were being said was a joke. So she don't believe where our money's going. But these are the same people that you guys listen to on a daily basis.
Yo, it would have slapped if he said Wakanda. If he would have said $5 billion to Wakanda.
That's the mineral contract we need.
That's
I need that vibranium.
Yeah, I want to ask too, because you talk about walking the line.
Yeah.
You walk a dope line because you have white fan base and black fan base.
Yeah.
Is that difficult for you?
I got the most.
Your jokes go everywhere with it.
I got the most diverse audience in comedy. It's not even close. Like, it's just like you come to my show, it looks like the UN. So it's like it's like, to me, it's in my experience in my life, I'm a pretty curious guy. So like, if I find out something about your culture, where you're from, whatever, I like talking about it, and I'm gonna make jokes about it just because that's my way of communicating in the world. What I found is like, when you make fun of people based on things that they're proud of or they haven't realized about themselves, they don't feel offended. They feel kind of seen. They feel noticed. And they appreciate it. So all these different groups would start coming out to shows, you know? And I was like, oh, this is really fucking cool. And when everybody comes out to the show, we all kind of submit to this idea, like, everybody's going to be made fun of. We all going to laugh at each other. We're going to laugh at ourselves. And it's a cool little beautiful thing. So to me, it's never been like black people found out about me before white people. Like, I'm doing Brilliant Idiots with him, like Guy Code, to be honest, black people were on way before white people. I mean, eventually towards the end seasons of Guy Code, I think it like just crossed over, but early on, MTV2 was more like hip hop related.
Yeah.
And then I think
it was the Rogan.
I think white people started to find me. And then, like, you know, Indians found me. Obviously, I do the pod with Akash, but also some stand-up clips that would go viral out there. Albanians would see me from some clip, and like all these different groups would come out. And yeah, it's my favorite thing of looking out in the audience. But I used to go to comedy clubs when I was on tour, and the owners would be like, because it would be all black people for the weekend, and they would think I was like Gary Owen or something like that. They were like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Gary never called you like, "Man, what's the secret, man?" Like,
how do you get white people to fuck with you? I got black people, Dad. How do I get white people? Yeah.
What about, because you said when you make people feel good because they feel seen, but what about in the moments where you're making people like things that people don't want to be seen for? You're bringing that up and they're upset. Like, I know Black woman was really upset at you for a second.
Yeah, but I would say that they're upset for like a joke that I tried to make on the pod. And like, the problem with the pod, I mean, I love pod, don't get me wrong. It's like, it's not really jokes. It's just like mounds of clay. A joke on stage is like a statue. You know, you like molded it, carved it, like.
You can't work out on a pod.
Yeah, but
you can, but it's gonna be bad.
It's problem. And like, so like, what I always say to people is like, first of all, if like I'm making a joke, I'm like teasing you about something, right? And you go to me, hey, that kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm never gonna tease you again because I don't want you to be uncomfortable.
Really?
About that thing.
Tell Charlamagne you are comfortable about this wig.
I don't care about him.
That's not cheese lying.
That's not a wig.
It's Robert Scott. What you say?
That's not a wig.
What you say?
That's not a wig.
You trying to win the black women back, huh?
What?
Period.
You see what they do? They can make jokes when a few months ago they were all angry. And they're going to talk about, it was a podcast that he did with these two other black guys. that ended up going viral because he made a comment about why black men don't like dating black women, and so
real hair.
I
Get
know
out of
that's
here.
from the scout, baby.
Oh my God,
Yes.
that's beautiful.
Period. What you looking at over there?
Yeah, what are you looking at
I'm
over
not
there?
looking at nothing.
Thank you.
That you bought. Okay. All right. All right.
So what I'm saying is, like, I would
Okay,
never, like,
now,
if I have a joke where I'm just like
read the
teasing you
room.
for whatever, and you're like, hey, that actually makes me feel uncomfortable. Like, my goal is not to make you feel uncomfortable, so I'll never tease you about that again. That doesn't mean I won't tease other people about that, but to you specifically, I won't. So if there's somebody at a comedy show and they're upset about something, here's a perfect example. Girl at a comedy show, I was saying some joke about some topic, I forget exactly what it is. She gets up and starts to walk out, right? This is a little comedy club, and I'm like, where you going? And she's like, oh, I just got to step out. I go, why? And she's like, oh, I don't want to make it about me. I go, man, what's the deal? She goes, oh, it's just like the topic. And some of the people in the audience started to like boo her for being like offended or whatever. And I go, don't boo her. She's doing what we all wish an audience member would do.
Yeah.
She's going, hey, I feel uncomfortable. I don't want to affect everybody else's time here. I don't want to make this show about me.
Right.
I'm just going to step out, and I'm like,
And that's a great segue to what the Democrats aren't willing to do. They can't just accept that President Trump has entered the White House. He's doing things the way he said he was going to do them. Now you guys can peacefully disperse. Go rebuild. You guys are spending so much time arguing with everybody who's a conservative or a Republican. You guys are spending so many times trying to make everybody into a MAGA member. You guys are spending so much time worrying about posting about DEI. During Black History Month, I didn't see one thing about the Tuskegee Airmen. I didn't see any of that posted on nobody's page, but y'all made a big deal about it when you thought it was being taken out of the curriculum in the Air Force. You guys are doing all these things instead of saying, you know what? They won this battle. Let's go prepare our army for the next 4 years so that we can be ready. And let's take some notes too, because everything that President Trump is doing isn't bad. So we need to go gear up. Let's peacefully disperse, not cause a scene like we always do. And that's what Jasmine Crockett is doing, causing scenes. Just stay out of the way. Al Green, causing scenes. Peacefully disperse yourself so that people who are happy with how things are going, they can see it for themselves. If something happens, cool. If not, cool. But it's not something that we should be sitting here arguing about every day. Like, it's literally getting draining. Like, I'll pretty much say that for my next panel that I was going to get away from politics because it's not a conversation that everybody's willing to have. And some people don't want to agree to disagree. Some people want to be right. See, I don't care about being wrong. I don't care if you think I'm not right. I'm cool with either way. I'm putting my opinions out there to start a conversation and to hear you out. I don't care. My family is good. My credit score is good. My bank account is good. If I left everything alone today and never made another video or snippet about what's going on in politics, I can come back 4 years from now and be in the same position of success. Because what I did for myself was prepare myself. I didn't depend on the government to do anything for me. And as I mentioned before, I never seen a president who made a change that technically affected me. So that's all I can say.
like, wow, like you're just like the most emotionally intelligent person in the room right there. I don't ever want to make her feel uncomfortable. So one-on-one, I'm not going to do that. But I'm not going to stop joking around about a whole idea just because it makes one person uncomfortable.
Boom. Great way to end that video because he's just going to go on to continue to talk about some of his comedy stuff. But I wanted you guys to really see the room, see what was going on, see the difference in personalities when somebody makes you feel comfortable. And as you notice, Charlemagne agreed. Envy, everybody was calm. They weren't asking him a million questions. They weren't trying to, actually debate what he was saying. They were listening because people who really are paying attention are noticing that he's right. A lot of us are right. Just like with the whole gas prices. I posted a picture about gas prices. That's it. I didn't say president, but gas prices. Everybody assumes that I'm talking about President Trump. It don't matter what someone posts, they're going to feel that you are doing something for someone else. And like I tell people, I'm an independent thinker. I just supported the candidate who I thought was going to do best for America. And in my opinion, things are going in a very decent direction, and we're going to see it through. If you don't agree that way, disperse peacefully. Leave the comedy show. Don't come back. And I know that that offends you, so I won't talk to you about those subjects anymore. See, once I see that things offend you, I won't talk to you about it no more. I can acknowledge it, but I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not here to offend people. And then I don't want somebody to take something that I'm being defensive. So for me, once I see that, hey, this person doesn't see it from my point of view, it's okay and we move on. But the biggest thing that I want to see is that people do their research, people continue to have the conversation because that's what's most important. And before I let you guys go, to really make this sink in, he's the reason why black men date outside their race. Because most black men don't feel comfortable in their own communities. And I know this when I put this out and I clip it up, people are going to say some of the craziest things. But when a person does not feel comfortable in their community, they're going to go find the next tribe that makes them feel comfortable. And that's with anybody, black, white, Hispanic, anything. If you do not feel comfortable in your community, you're not going to sit in that community. It doesn't make sense to. And that doesn't take away any credibility from my black women. I just tell people to explore all races of women because you never know who's going to be the right person for you. You never know who's going to make that environment comfortable for you. Some people in the relationships like to read the room, and that's what I tell people to do. If you don't feel comfortable around certain people, you got to disperse. But with that being said, I want to end this video actually saying prayers to the family of the young man who lost his life when he was pledging for the Omega Psi Phi, or whatever they are, the Q Dogs. They're not talking about him, but we need to talk about those things. This young man was a member of the Southern Band. Their family just had a huge parade in New Orleans with the band, and everybody came out to support him. Prayers to that family, man. I know they counseled all fraternities and sororities at Southern University. They need to cancel that crap everywhere. And we need to say this young man's name, just like y'all wanted those other people names to be said. Nobody has said anything about this young man. This young man has been passed away due to hazing from a fraternity, from your great divine nine, and nobody's talking about it. And I wonder why. But if it was anything else, we'll be talking about it. So I just want to send prayers out to that family so that people could know. See here, try to get his name for you guys. Caleb Wilson is his name. That's the young man right there who was hazed by these three gentlemen, by those Q Dogs, grown men punching people in the chest. With that being said, make sure y'all say his name out loud. That's Caleb Wilson. Caleb Wilson, man. Prayers to you and your family. I know you're passed away, but you won't be forgotten. Like I end every video, God loves you, which is most importantly. I love you. You're beautiful. And your boy's out. Let go.
Life is complicated when you count